you? Your mic
Yeah.
is muted.
Good evening. Ha. Long time no see.
Good evening. Very good evening to you. How are you?
Fine. Thanks. And you?
I'm good too. Thank you so much for joining.
Welcome.
Good evening to everyone present here. I hope so. You all are doing good, both mentally and physically. So, my name is Nidhi Medhi, and I'm the National Council member of Youth and Community Empowerment Council, WICCI. So, today, the topic on which we are going to speak is on mental health. So, today, our topic for discussion is strength in our vulnerability, embracing mental health and conversation. So, everyone, I would like to welcome our guest speaker today, Ms. Moumita Chakraborty, who is our National President of Youth and Community Empowerment Council, WICCI. So I hope you all are ready, and with all your due permission, I would like to begin the session. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Nidhi, for this great initiative. And as always, I love speaking on mental health. Thank you so much for bringing this up. Or like there are certain council members who want it to be both in English and Hindi. So medium of conversation they have requested me to be is in English. First of all, I thank you. और मैं सभी का धन्यवाद करना चाहती हूँ कि आप सबने हमें ज्वाइन किया. Those who are not able to understand Hindi, thank you so much for joining this, webinar, an initiative by Miss Nidhi Medhi. She is a student from the Central University of Himachal Pradesh and a very like dear sister to me. So we are connected from years now,
Thank you,
and
ma'am.
she's very active, and she's a very, 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 very sweet girl and with a pure and kind heart. तो आप सभी का स्वागत है. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, Nidhi, to speak today on mental health.
It's
So
my
yeah,
pleasure.
over to
It's
you.
my
Thank you so
pleasure.
much.
Okay, so since mental health is a very still basically in India, people think that it's a taboo. Most of us we don't speak about mental health even though we are suffering. So the first question, ma'am, I want to ask you is that like most of us youths, if we speak precisely with the youths, like we face a lot of mental health issue, and even while we are facing this mental health issue, we don't ourselves recognize that we're actually facing mental health issue. So in that case, ma'am, how we recognize by ourselves that there is something wrong or we are not mentally well? Like how do we recognize that, ma'am? I wanted to ask that question.
Okay, thank you for this question. So I like I said, I speak a lot and research a lot on mental health. I am not a psychologist or a psychiatrist, but I think I can answer that question because I myself am a human being and also I have ups and downs in my life. So like I feel there are certain signs which can help us understand the signs through which we can understand that okay, we are suffering through this kind of mental health issue. For example, each mental health problem, for example, be it depression, be it stress, be it anxiety, there are certain signs of each of the problems. Okay, being youth, मतलब हम जो युवा पीढ़ी है वो सबसे ज्यादा मतलब ये प्रॉब्लम होता है. मतलब युवा पीढ़ी जो है आजकल के जनरेशन की सबसे ज्यादा मतलब मेंटल हेल्थ इश्यू से डील कर रही है. तो हम इसमें जो सिंबल्स है वो हम देख सकते हैं कि जैसे फॉर डिप्रेशन, sometimes you may feel that you have too much appetite, okay, and sometimes you may not feel like eating anything. Sometimes you have insomnia कि आपको नींद ही नहीं आ रही है, और या फिर कभी आपको लग सकता है कि you are feeling too sleepy and too lazy to even wake up or even brush your teeth or something like that. ठीक है, या फिर आपको कभी कभार ऐसा लग सकता है कि even at the slightest jokes you start laughing too loudly. However, some other people who are present near you will feel कि अरे what happened, this was not a big deal, big joke, why this girl or boy is laughing. तो ये जो स्थितियां है ना, इस सबको पता चल सकता है कि व्हाट काइंड ऑफ मेंटल हेल्थ प्रॉब्लम्स आप फेस कर रहे हो. जैसे अगर इफ यू हैव स्ट्रेस, अगर आपको स्ट्रेस है, देन यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड इट दैट योर एपेटाइट, यू विल फील ड्रिवन टुवर्ड्स जंक फूड अ लॉट. आप स्ट्रेस ईटिंग करते हो इवन इफ इट इज मिडनाइट. You will feel like okay I have to do something, and और आपके ना हाथ पाँव बहुत कांपते हैं स्ट्रेस में. कोई भी एक सिचुएशन हो जहाँ पे you always want to be surrounded in that comfort zone, and the moment you even if a single person approaches you which is beyond your that comfort zone, you start feeling stressed. आपके हाथ पाँव कांपना शुरू हो जाता है, आपका हार्ट बीट बहुत फास्ट हो जाता है, आपके जो ये फेस का जो ये है ये कांपना स्टार्ट हो जाता है. यू माइट हैव फेल्ट दैट when you are in a stressful situation. So these are certain
Yes,
signs
yes.
for anxiety. Anxiety होता है तो क्या होता है आपको you आप ना डर जाते हो, मतलब कि नहीं 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 ये how can this happen, you do not have, you certainly become blank in anxiety. You
Hmm.
just look at that person and nothing is going inside your head. You are just moving your
Hmm.
head like that. These are the signs, certain signs through which you can understand that okay some mental health issue is going on. Yeah.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Like your question really helped, to tackle some of the situation, because even me right now I'm doing my master's, so there are a lot of things that usually affects us, and I even have seen like a few of my friends around here suffering from these type of things, and like I guess someday like they'll be able to understand like what they're going through. So after like completing this first question, I have another question popped up in my head right now. Is that most of the time is that even ma'am, when we recognize that we are suffering from mental health, we don't go and talk about it to others because we think that they'll think we are psycho or mad or something like that. So how do we actually go and approach someone, like someone we basically trust, or go and tell them that we are having some problems and we want to talk about it? Like how we go and approach someone and ask help from them while we are suffering?
Okay. So, like in case if you are feeling that you have any kind of mental health issue, अगर आपको लग रहा है कि आप किसी भी mental health issue से मतलब डील कर रहे हो और आप अच्छा महसूस नहीं कर रहे हो, so in that case आप क्या कर सकते हो कि you always have to be prepared, ठीक है, for the negative thing. क्योंकि I believe in vibrations, कि आप जैसे कुछ भी चीज को बाहर निकालते हो that will come back to you. It is also karma, it is also
Hmm.
manifestation. ठीक है, तो you are already dealing in a condition which is a negative condition. Mental health का कोई भी issue है, जो भी डिप्रेशन है, एंजाइटी है, स्ट्रेस है, वो एक मेंटल हेल्थ इशू है जो कि आपको नेगेटिव फील करवाता है. तो आपको हमेशा ऐसे तैयार रहना है कि हाँ मैं एक नेगेटिव एनवायरनमेंट और मेरा मानसिक कंडीशन या फिर मेरा जो एटमोसफियर है वो ऑलरेडी नेगेटिव है. तो व्हेन यू आर अप्रोचिंग समवन यू हैव टू बी प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर इट, कि सामने वाला इंसान को भी मैं वही
Okay.
वाइब पास कर रही हूँ. ठीक है, तो क्या होगा ना,
Hmm.
यू हैव टू होप फॉर द बेस्ट बट प्रिपेयर फॉर द वर्स्ट. तो आपको ऐसा
Okay.
मेंटेलिटी नहीं रखना है. आई बी वेरी फ्रैंक टुडे कि अगर हम ऐसा रखें कि नहीं सब कुछ मेरे साथ पॉजिटिव ही हो, हाँ दिस फीलिंग इज गुड, बट यू ऑल्सो हैव टू बी प्रैक्टिकल. और प्रैक्टिकल होने का मतलब ये है कि ऐसा नहीं हो सकता कि मैं जो चाह रही हूँ वो जो सामने वाला इंसान है वो भी वही पर्सपेक्टिव से हमको सुने. ऐसा भी हो सकता है
Hmm.
कि ही और शी इज ऑल्सो गोइंग थ्रू समथिंग एंड वो ऐसा सोच सकते हैं कि ठीक है चलो ये मुझे अपना प्रॉब्लम तो बता रही है लेकिन मेरे बताने लायक इनके पास कुछ नहीं, या फिर they might not take it the way you want it
Hmm.
to be taken by them,
Hmm.
right? So
Hmm.
in that case what you can do is
Yes.
you just okay go ahead with them, try to speak to somebody. लेकिन ऐसा हमेशा होता है just like we say in youth and like wiki soul sisters, we
Hmm.
call each other soul sisters. तो soul sisters we all are soul sisters, लेकिन आप देखोगे कि आप सभी के साथ वाइब नहीं कर रहे हैं, आप किसी किसी के
Hmm.
साथ ही वाइब करते हो. और वो
Hmm.
जो वाइब होता है ना आपको पता चल जाएगा इवन इफ यू आर टॉकिंग ओवर फोन या फिर आप फिजिकली भी किसी के सामने जाते हो, तो आपको एक ऑटोमेटिकली एक ऑरा महसूस होता है. तो उससे आपको
Hmm.
पता चलेगा कि ओके आई गेट सम काइंड ऑफ फीलिंग, आई डोंट गेट ए गुड वाइब फ्रॉम सम पर्सन.
Hmm.
और समटाइम्स क्या होता है ना यू डू नॉट नो दैट पर्सन बट यू आर फॉर एग्जाम्पल यू आर ट्रैवलिंग थ्रू ए बस, ठीक है, या फिर थ्रू
Hmm.
फ्लाइट, एंड यू फील लाइक स्पीकिंग टू द नेक्स्ट पर्सन सिटिंग इन योर नेक्स्ट सीट, तो दैट इज गिविंग यू ए
Hmm.
गुड वाइब. तो ऐसे आप
Hmm.
किसी के पास जब आप सोचते हो कि नो आई हैव ए गुड वाइब, आई एम गेटिंग ए गुड वाइब फ्रॉम दैट पर्सन, स्पीक टू दोज पीपल ओनली about your
Hmm.
mental health. Because if
Hmm.
you go to a negative person, वो आपको हेल्प करने के बजाय उल्टा और डिप्रेशन में डाल देगा. सो
Hmm.
इवन इफ यू आर अप्रोचिंग ए पर्सन whom you want help from, you first have to make sure कि that person is genuine enough to
Hmm.
help you, or that
Hmm.
person is kind hearted enough to listen to you at
Hmm.
least. क्योंकि even if you go to a psychiatrist these days, they are like, I have seen, there was one relative whom I took to a psychiatrist because he or she was not suffering, like he or she was not feeling well and was suffering from some mental issue. Okay, I was sitting beside him or her, and the psychiatrist, what he did was he was only listening to that particular person, no facial expressions. So ठीक है. But he gave some medications. मैं तो medications दे नहीं सकती because I'm not a psychiatrist और मतलब मैं scientifically मैं कुछ नहीं कर सकती. लेकिन हाँ, what I can do is I can be empathic, I can be emotionally available to anybody, like जो भी मदद चाहिए हो, तो मैं क्या करती हूँ, I can't be as professional as them, but हाँ मैं आपको हेल्प कर सकती हूँ कि चलो ऐसे ऐसा करो, ऐसा मत करो, ये चीज आपके लिए सही है, ये चीज नो 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 यू डोंट डू दैट, आई एम नॉट गेटिंग ए वाइब. So trust on your vibe. I think that is the best thing you can do. So in case if you are feeling कि no no I need help, but the other person is not understanding, generally क्या होता है, हमारी माँ for example is the best person in the world, all of our mothers, ठीक है, but the problem here is उनको समझ में नहीं आता कि mental health issue है क्या.
Yes, yes.
Because
True, I agree.
whenever, even if I talk to my mother also, yeah, so even if when I speak to my mother also about mental health, they are like, पता नहीं हमारे जनरेशन में तो हमको समझ ही नहीं आता था कि ये सब क्या चीजें हैं. हाँ, रोना आता था तो रोते थे, खुशी होना होता है तो होते हैं, वही समझ में आता था. आजकल तो तुम लोगों के जमाने में कितना कुछ है यार, हम लोगों को तो पता ही नहीं है. तो दिस काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स, you we know that they love us, but the thing is they don't understand this thing, that how to comfort us, है ना. In this situations what we
Yes,
can do
ma'am.
is either do not approach anybody or try to make yourself capable enough कि हाँ मुझे डील करना है, मुझे डील करना है, मेक स्ट्रॉन्ग, मेक योरसेल्फ स्ट्रॉन्ग एनफ, और इन केस इफ यू आर नॉट एबल टू डू दैट, सीक हेल्प फ्रॉम ए person who is as dear to you as your mother, maybe your sibling or a friend whom you can trust, who doesn't judge you, or anybody you feel attached to. Or in case if that also doesn't help, that you have to go to a psychiatrist or a psychologist. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am. Like it's not always mandatory that you have to go and approach the ones that are only blood related to you, like your parents or sibling. The ones where we feel comfortable and where we think that the energy matches are the place basically that calls us for help. Right. Okay, I got it. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
So, ma'am, we no matter what, whenever we go through something, and nowadays the news that mostly comes to us is basically through social media. Most of the news gets updated to us mostly through social media. So, ma'am, like in one of the articles I have read that basically the mental health issues that we start facing that once we pass our teenage years or we cross teenage. So, ma'am, it's basically said that these type of issues, mental health problem, depression, anxieties, are a result of childhood trauma, ma'am. Like, is it true that it's like related to childhood trauma? And even if we like heal the trauma, like or the anxiety or the mental health, eventually with age, is there a possibility that it will return even after healing the trauma?
हाँ, see, childhood memories are the strongest, ठीक है? Like, yeah, teenage is the time when you get into your puberty stage and the hormonal changes start to come up in your body physically, ठीक है? And that is the time you get to understand your, like what do I say? The gender-based thing. Okay, I am a female, I'm a male. I get attracted to this kind of gender. Some get attracted to men, some get attracted to, women. So like that, if you're a girl, you get attracted to a particular, like the opposite gender. General thing, something. Some may get attracted to some other genders as well. That's not a thing. But what happens is like, in this case, childhood trauma plays a very important role, okay? Because childhood is the thing. See, there is a saying in Bengali. I don't know if like anybody here is Bengali, but there is a saying ki jar hoy 9 বছরে হয়, jar hoy na 90 বছরেও হয় না. Like it translates to whoever grows mentally grows by the age of 9, and if he or she doesn't grow by the age of 9, like he doesn't grow mentally ever, like even if it is he or she is of 90 years of age, he doesn't grow. Okay, so these are the things which affects us. And in childhood, if you are traumatized by a certain case, for example, if a child is abused physically or mentally in any way, it will not leave you ever. because I should not give this kind of misconcepts that okay, no, in case if you are trying to heal from that, you will heal. See, some wounds are so strong they never heal. So I would suggest in case if you are getting connected to some kind of mental health issue जो कि आपको बड़े होने के बाद आपको you are able to relate to them. For example, something similar happens to you during your adulthood or when you are a teenager. That case if something similar happens to you, that can come back and hit you very hard और वो आपको और भी mental health problem की तरफ ले जाएगा. So dealing with them is like because you're growing, you have to be make yourself accustomed to that. ठीक है चलो I am facing this, but yeah I have to be strong. I have to be strong. क्योंकि क्या होता है ना, whatever you manifest, it ultimately comes true. What you think, you become.
Hmm.
Vivekananda said it. So I know it is not easy, but yeah, you have to keep yourself, always. You just try to ignore that. Okay, this happened.
Hmm.
Let me ignore. Let me ignore. Let me ignore. At one point, I know it. You will never forget it, but yeah, you will at least be able to handle that particular situation.
Hmm.
So yeah, childhood trauma sometimes can be healed if that child is very strong mentally. But some
Hmm.
children like me are very emotional. So sometimes if something
Hmm.
wrong happens with us, we cannot heal from that. But some people, like everybody is different, so everybody's mind works differently. Some people can
Hmm.
heal, but some people cannot heal. But yeah, what the
Hmm.
best thing we can do is just we can ignore the problem and just go ahead, keep moving ahead with the pace of time.
Hmm. Yes, ma'am. Like that really helped because like even me, I like slowly at one age. For my example, if I want to give that, I have this fear of darkness. I don't know why. Like I didn't have it when I was a child at that time, but maybe I used to have nightmares at night where like someone would usually put me in a dark room, and slowly that thing I don't know how it elevated up to now that whenever there is darkness somewhere, I just feel so congested in one place. And I guess so it's like slowly it will I will go through it. But yeah, maybe that might be the issue, that because of the childhood nightmares that I had, that has like actually shown in the process of adulthood now, and maybe that's the reason I'm going through it. So ma'am, like I have
Hmm.
another question. At this stage, like since I'm in my masters, I'm meeting a
Okay.
lot many type of peoples right now. Seeing different type of faces, seeing different type of peoples with different personalities. Basically what happens is that, ma'am, everyone has a very different kind of opinion, and it's very easy to be manipulated at this stage because like our brain has millions of things going on, from pressure, workload, from submitting my thesis is just a very good example because I have a very due date to submit. So that's the reason. And relationship issues, friends, toxicity. So ma'am, what happened at one time? No, it becomes very hard to ignore all the things. Like no matter what, you come in your room and like make yourself think that no, it's okay, it's fine. But at one point, it becomes really hard to ignore, and the toxicity starts spreading to yourselves also, like for ourselves, and that starts harming you in one way. Like for me, for example, if I want to tell that all this thing after hearing so many opinions in one single day from so many people, I tend to get very less sleep because it just feels like that my mind, there is something or another thing going on in my mind. So ma'am, in that case scenario, like how we ignore all these things, like even if so many things are going on in and around us. So that's the thing I want to know actually, basically, more importantly.
Okay. Okay, about your question, I would say that you cannot ignore things.
Hmm.
You either have to face them or you
Hmm.
have to shut yourself up in a room where you are not connected even online too, online, offline,
Hmm.
anywhere, which is not
Hmm.
possible in the real world. So
Hmm.
you are left with only the second option, which is face it off. Okay? So how do you face it is like आप क्या कर सकते हो कि आई बिलीव इन वन थिंग, ठीक है, कि
Hmm.
सुनो सबकी करो अपनी.
Okay.
Listen to everybody,
Hmm.
right? You listen to everybody.
Hmm.
Everybody has their own opinion. For example, you have a social media account, be it
Hmm.
Instagram, be it LinkedIn, be it Facebook, whatever the social media accounts you're using. Okay? Every time you make a post, you will see some people like your post, some people dislike your post, some people, comment on that, be it positive, be it negative. So everybody has an opinion about the
Hmm.
thing you are doing, but you are absolutely posting it because you feel that okay, this I like this picture or I like this post, that's why I'm posting it. or else I am not going
mm,
to post something which I look like I look horrible. Sometimes I have not combed my hair, I have not taken bath, and I won't post that kind of picture. Right? We always post something on the social media, in if anything in a positive way. Like generally,
mm,
general people like us, I'm saying, we use social media to refresh our minds. But most of the times, what happens? It becomes negative. So I'll give an example of a boy. Like एक लड़का था जो like he उसका न्यूज में भी आया था, he committed suicide. ठीक है, because he was born as a male, मतलब वो लड़का था, he was of, I think of your age only or maybe little younger to you, he
mm.
was a college going
Yes,
student
yes,
like
ma'am.
you.
I've heard
तो
that.
उन्होंने क्या
I've
किया
seen it.
कि uh,
Hmm,
right,
hmm,
he identified himself as a girl. तो उसने क्या किया, उसको अच्छा फील होता है मेकअप करके, उसको ड्रेस करके,
hmm,
बट ही इज ए बॉय, ठीक है. तो इट कांट बी लाइक बोथ वेज, यू कांट बी लाइक बोथ वेज कि हाँ आई फील लाइक दिस, आई फील पॉजिटिव बाय पोस्टिंग इट, इट माइट नॉट बी लाइक बाय मेनी. उसने क्या किया, उसने कमेंट सेक्शन भी ऑन करके रखा, वो वीडियो भी पोस्ट कर रहा है. इंडियन पब्लिक इज नॉट लाइक दैट. इफ आई टॉक अबाउट ओनली इंडिया, आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट ग्लोबल लेवल, ओके, बिकॉज इट्स अ नेशनल वेबिनार, आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट ओनली इंडिया. तो इंडिया में क्या हो रहा है, probably they are like, oh, this can't be accepted basically कि okay, I feel something else and I'm posting it and people will not comment it on it also. ऐसा possible नहीं है. अगर आपको ऐसा फील होता है कि नो दैट पर्सन मुझे गलत बोल रहा है, turn off your comment section if you want to show, or make your account private. You always have options to do. लेकिन you have to do that, keeping yourself matured enough, or what do I say it, um, handle it everything with maturity. For example, आप जैसे you're talking about relationships. Relationships for me is not about only boyfriend girlfriend relationship. We have relationship, for me relationship is about sibling relationships also, or parental and children relationships also, ठीक है. So in these relationships, see, as I gave the example of mother and me, ठीक है, दे लव अस बट दे डोंट अंडरस्टैंड द मेंटल हेल्थ इश्यूज. तो इसमें क्या होता है कि हम ऐसा सिचुएशन में आ जाते हैं कि ठीक है चलो, दे आर नॉट अंडरस्टैंडिंग, देन व्हाट हैपेंस इज लाइक वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड. So dealing it with कि you listen to everybody but do whatever
hmm,
your heart feels like. And also you're talking about your professionalism. If I talk now, these all things I spoke about emotional perspectives. Okay, now if I go to professional level, for example, you are a
hmm,
student or somebody like an entrepreneur like me who is working professional or a student. That time you
hmm,
can't think by heart, you have to submit your project
hmm,
report. I have to like give a quotation to my client. Okay, in
hmm,
that case, if you are not feeling mentally fine, but you have responsibilities to do, that time I will suggest you, rather than thinking from your heart, think from your brain. Because there are always
hmm,
two things, like heart and brain both gives you signals. Okay, some things are emotionally connected. The things which are
hmm,
emotionally connected, you take decisions from your heart. But things which are mentally connected, or like what do I call it, connected with the brain, professional things, you have to take,
hmm,
ठीक है चलो, I should not, अभी मैं नहीं सोचूंगी इसके बारे में. I know it is
hmm,
tough. I know it is very tough. Whatever I'm
hmm,
saying, maybe for some people it is not possible. That's why they take such harsh steps. But I don't think that suicide is never an option, or it is not at
hmm,
all possible. Also, मतलब ये जो कर रहे हो, you again have to take birth, because I believe in the concept of Sanatan Dharma. I know कि अगर आज मरने की भी कोशिश करूँ ना, मेरे को भगवान फिर से जन्म देंगे, और सेम जो मेरा कर्मा है ना, वो फिर से होके ही फिर ही मरना पड़ेगा. तो सुइसाइड इज नेवर
hmm.
एन ऑप्शन फॉर अस. तो सुइसाइड वुइसाइड के बारे में नहीं सोच के ये सोचना स्टार्ट कर दो कि हाँ, बोलने दो जिसको बोलना है, मैं तो मेरा ही करूंगी. इफ यू डोंट डू दैट, यू कांट ग्रो. नीति, that's how you have to deal. Be
Yes,
you are
ma'am.
maybe you are a student, maybe you are a girl, maybe you are a boy, maybe you are a working professional. Just do what you feel like is good. And
Hmm,
in case if you are on social media and you do
hmm,
not want people to give you negativity, you have the options to keep your account private or turn off your comment section box. That's it. And in case if you have to deal with somebody,
hmm,
sometimes what you do is like become blank, make your brain
hmm.
blank. सुनो ही मत, मतलब let them speak and just move your head like that. That's what I do sometimes. हाँ, बोलते रहो. It's like that. You keep on saying, I'll do whatever I have to do. That's what the best you can do.
Yes, ma'am. Right. That's the perfect solution for situations like this. I understood. So, ma'am, like,
Hmm.
yeah. So now I will ask you like the last question. So, ma'am, basically, like we have also heard, I have heard, I have been suggested many, like most of the times by my friends that self love, self care. So, like, will self love and self care actually help us to understand ourselves better and deal with like our mental health or situation like this, or it's just one of the trends flowing over Instagram or any social media?
I don't think there is something called self-love. I feel the most important thing is self-respect.
Mm,
If you respect yourself, no, you will automatically love yourself. Self, there, आप खुद से कैसे प्यार कर सकते हो? I don't understand that. You can't
mm,
love yourself. You can love something else. Like you can be passionate about something, but if you respect yourself enough, by saying कि or by thinking कि no, whatever I am doing, whatever I am as a person, मैं ठीक हूँ अपनी जगह पे. I know I have
mm,
not harmed anybody. ठीक है? I am proud of it.
mm,
While I say that, you will see the
mm,
facial expression in me कि whenever I say something, I speak it from the bottom of my heart. ठीक है? I speak from my soul. तो in that case क्या
mm,
होता है ना कि मैं अगर गलत भी बोलूं, I don't give a damn. क्योंकि मुझे ये पता है कि मैं सही हूँ. I am honest. Okay, I have a good character. I'm earning honestly. My parents have raised a good child. Okay, my parents are honest. My parents are good. I know your parents as well. I know your brother as well. I know your entire family, Nidhi. Right? So you know you come from a good
yes.
background. It's not about rich or poor thing. I'm not saying
Mm,
about rich or
mm,
poor thing.
mm,
It's about the culture.
mm,
It's about
mm,
the family background. It's about how you feel about yourself. You know that you have not harmed anybody intentionally, at
mm,
least you might have harmed anybody unintentionally. For example, you are certain if you are like dealing in some mental health issue. For example, आपका मन ठीक नहीं है और आपने क्या किया, आपकी कोई फ्रेंड आ गई या फिर आपकी मम्मी रूम पे आ गए, you might have like through instinct you have shouted on them. That happens, but that was not intentional, right?
mm,
वो होता
mm,
है.
mm,
But you know deep within कि I am a good person. I have not harmed anybody. In that case, I think that is only self love, I guess, or self respect,
mm,
majorly, I would say. If you respect yourself, automatically others will also respect you. And at the same time, if
mm,
you're talking about self love, तो आप खुद से जैसे ही respect आएगा, love will also follow through and others will also start loving you.
mm.
Some people are raising their hands. I don't know if they have questions to ask. Yeah, you can say,
Yes, everyone.
yeah, Nidhi, take it over.
If anybody has any questions to ask, you can just ask or write it in the comment box. Like, obviously, we'll try to answer your questions, whatever query you have. You can just pin it down on the comment box.
Soham wants to like raise the hand.
Hi, ma'am. Actually, I'm traveling, but still,
Hi, good evening.
good evening, ma'am. I'm traveling, but I couldn't want to miss this chance.
Good evening. Okay, thank you.
So it's a wonderful job, Nidhi. Being a
Thank you.
YCAC member, I feel proud of all of you. And like the thing Moumita ma'am always said, he's a wonderful speaker. She always speaks so well. But the things we're concerned about today, like the mental health and all, we can do one thing. As the youth and community wing, we can be the community connector. We can connect with people, at least our members, and we can check in them whether they are in a
Mm,
good mental health or not. So
mm.
these kind of things we can do. And for any help, I am always available. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Like, this is a very good suggestion, and I guess, like, ma'am, we can do that actually. Ask all the situations and like the well-being of all the members that we are connected to. So this is like asking everyone, like, if you have any questions, you can pin it down on the comment box or ask, or else we can conclude our session.
I think Tabitha raised a hand. Tabitha wants to ask something, I guess.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Good afternoon from here in Nigeria. Hi, Moumita. Good afternoon. Hi, Nahi. Good afternoon.
Hi, hello,
Hi,
hi. How
namaste
are
from
you?
India.
Hope
Good
you are doing
evening.
good.
Okay. This topic is very important because in my country we don't understand mental health, and that is why we see so many
Mm,
people with bipolar issue reacting to so many things, outside the factors, and you'll be wondering what is going on. But I want to understand something. When we talk about mental issues, we don't need to specify that you must be mad or maybe your head is touching or something is wrong with your head before you can now speak out. So I want you to maybe give me some factors that can actually determine that somebody mental health is not really stable, or that you are not having that mental stability maybe in your life. Not just necessarily you are mad, but I just need to understand the factors that can actually show that somebody really needs some assistance, maybe emotionally, physically, and otherwise. Thank you.
Right, right. As you said, mental health issues are not something which makes anybody mad. Absolutely, it's a very big misconcept people have till now. It's not only about Nigeria, Tabitha. It's also about India. Many people are thinking, ki, okay, this person who is going through something which is not normal, or if he or she wants to share something which is disturbing them emotionally, they feel like not sharing it with the other person next to them, because they will immediately say you are mad, something is wrong, you are mad. But that's not the right thing. Madness is the extreme level of mental health problem. Depression, anxiety, stress, this kind of mental health issues can be healed through different kinds of emotional help, or also through medication. Okay, there is, as I said in the first answer only, which Nidhi asked me, are that there are certain symbols or signs through which you can understand that you are going through mental health issue. For example, some people, if someone is suffering through stress, he would like to eat much during the midnight. This things increases. For example, he will feel like going to the fridge and eating something, junk food, like attraction towards junk food, or staying away from people. In case if you have anxiety, or in case if you have depression, you will feel that the person laughs too much at certain things which are not that important, or sometimes he or she doesn't want to speak to some people. So these are the signs through which you can understand that people have some people have very less sleep, and some people are sleeping all over the day and night. Okay, these are also the mental health issues. But to understand that in a better way, I think we need a very long session to like speak on each kind of mental health issue. For example, depression is so big, different kind of mental health. Then again, we have stress also. They have different kinds of signs which can be understood through the patterns a person is behaving or speaking, or through, if you have dark circles, that means you have not slept from time to time, right? Or you have less appetization, right? So these are certain signs through which you can understand, but that doesn't make you mad at all. But yeah, we can have another session on that, a descriptive session, that what are the signs, like in a descriptive way about each of the topic of mental health. Yes.
Yes, definitely,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have a question, ma'am, from Minakshi. Ma'am, her question is
Yes.
about students
Yes.
preparing for competitive exams. They live in hostels away from home. They have homesickness, but at the same time, they have toxic family, जहाँ उनको प्यार और care नहीं मिलता. They have a bitter family experience, have a toxic family
Hmm.
relations. They're going through loneliness, depressed, competition, pressure. How can they deal with their innocent emotions?
Okay. The thing is, agar they want me to answer it in Hindi or English? Who asked the question? If you may tell me,
Ma'am,
if the name
Minakshi.
is mentioned.
Yes, ma'am, Minakshi.
Minakshi. Minakshi Agarwal ji.
No, no. Pateria, if I'm not wrong. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong.
Okay, anyway, I'll mix it up and answer it in both English and Hindi. So see, हाँ ये ना बहुत important thing है कि you come from a family background which is very toxic. For example, parents are fighting, sibling is not supportive, and sibling has some different kind of नेचर, ठीक है. और आप हॉस्टल पे रहते हो जहाँ पे आपका फ्रेंड भी अच्छा नहीं है पढ़ा, मतलब आपका रूममेट भी खराब है, मतलब आपकी किस्मत ही खराब है, आप सोच लो, ठीक है, कि आप जहां भी जा रहे हो आपके साथ बुरा ही हो रहा है. दैट्स व्हाट हैपेंस, ठीक है. इन दैट केस व्हाट यू कैन डू इज spend some time alone in places where there are no people around to आपको देख रहे हो, या फिर ऐसा कुछ नेचर के साथ टाइम स्पेंड करने की कोशिश कीजिए, या फिर यू कैन रीच आउट टू मी. आप मेरे साथ बात कर सकते हो, बिकॉज आई डोंट चार्ज एनीथिंग। मैं आई ऑलवेज से कि मैं हर किसी के लिए अवेलेबल हूँ। मुझे फर्क नहीं पड़ता आप औरत हो, आप बच्चे हो, आप बूढ़े
That's
हो,
great.
यूर मेल और फीमेल। बस बात ये है कि बस बात ये है कि आई एम देयर टू सपोर्ट एंड गाइड, क्योंकि मुझे समझ में आता है मतलब मेंटल हेल्थ इशू क्या होता है, या फिर आई हैव फ्रेंड्स वो कॉल मी रिजर्व बैंक ऑफ इंडिया, बिकॉज आई हैव ऑल देयर सीक्रेट। सबके सीक्रेट्स मेरे पास है, लेकिन मैं किसी को ना जज करती हूँ, ना किसी के साथ कुछ शेयर करती हूँ। तो इस बात की गारंटी लेके मैं इतना तो बोल सकती हूँ, जिसका कोई नहीं है उसका मैं तो हूँ। भगवान तो है ही, भगवान उनके ऊपर तो कोई जा नहीं सकता ऑब्वियसली। मैं जस्ट उनकी एक बनाई हुई बच्ची हूँ, जो कि बस इतना चाहती हूँ कि अगर आपका कोई ऐसा प्रॉब्लम है, प्लीज मुझसे कांटेक्ट करो। आपको अगर ईमेल से कांटेक्ट करना है, फेक ईमेल आईडी बना के मुझसे कांटेक्ट करो, आई विल रिस्पॉन्ड टू यू। या अगर आपको मतलब मुझसे डायरेक्टली भी बात करनी है एंड यू डोंट वांट टू रिवील योर आइडेंटिटी, यू कैन डू दैट, माय नंबर इज अवेलेबल ऑनलाइन ऑल्सो। एंड अगर आप मतलब ऐसे जो बच्चे होते हैं वो क्या कर सकते हैं ना, कोई एक हॉबी चूज कर सकते हैं, इनकेस इफ दे डोंट वांट टू स्पीक टू समबडी, अगर उनको बात नहीं करनी है, दे कैन चूज देयर हॉबी। ऐसा तो कुछ ना कुछ हर किसी में होता है कि दे लाइक समथिंग। किसी को गाना पसंद है, किसी को ड्रॉ करना पसंद है, किसी को डांस करना पसंद है। तो ऐसा कोई एक जगह चुनो, या फिर कोई एक ऐसा चीज चुनो जो आपको ऑलवेज फोकस्ड रखे, कि आपको जब भी मेंटल हेल्थ का कोई भी मतलब ऐसा बुरा फील होना स्टार्ट करना, आप उस चीज में काम करने को लग जाओ। वो क्या होगा ना, आपका स्लोली स्लोली डेवलप हो जाएगा। या फिर आप क्या कर सकते हो, मतलब वो बच्चा क्या कर सकता है कि नोट इट डाउन इन ए पीस ऑफ पेपर, जो भी
Yes.
बुरा लगता है, इन केस इफ ही और शी डजंट वांट टू शेयर इट विद एनीबॉडी, लिखो। और जैसा जब भी मैं तुम्हें दिखाया है ना, जला दो, फ्लश कर दो, ये एक्चुअली में हेल्प करता है।
ये वर्क
ट्रस्ट मी,
करता है.
ये
Yes.
ये एक्चुअली में हेल्प करता है। आप ये वर्क करता है, और थोड़ा पागलपंती भी जरूरी है। ये सब चीजों में ना थोड़ा पागलपंती भी जरूरी है। आप जाके मतलब चिल्ला के, से कोई जगह है तो चिल्ला के आपको गुस्सा निकालना है, निकालो। डोंट गिव ए डैम अबाउट व्हाट पीपल आर थिंकिंग, आई एम टेलिंग यू। क्योंकि कोई है ही नहीं आपका अपना, रिलेटिव्स भी आपके नहीं है। जब तक आपके पास कुछ है तभी रिलेटिव्स है, या फिर कोई भी अपना है, एक्सेप्ट फॉर पेरेंट्स आई एम सेइंग। या फिर आपके जो अपने भाई बहन जो अगर अच्छे हैं तो, या फिर कोई भी आपका नहीं है, आपके खुद के अलावा कोई भी आपका अपना नहीं है। तो किसी के बारे में बिना सोचे खुद को जो करना वो करो, बट विदाउट हार्मिंग एनीबडी एल्स। दैट्स व्हाट माय मैसेज इज।
Yes, I
थैंक यू
always
फॉर द क्वेश्चन।
I always convey the same messages who come to me about this topic.
जी जी,
Okay.
दैट्स नाइस।
Mhm.
थैंक यू दैट आई रिलेटेड टू
Thank
यू।
you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
I guess these are the questions that we have. If anyone has any more questions, you can write it down in the comment box. We'll wait for another minute and then we will end up our session for today. Ma'am, is that okay?
Yes, because I have only 2 more minutes left. I have another session from 7 p.m.
Yes.
So I have to rush. We'll just keep it
Yes.
for 2 more minutes, and then you can
Yes.
convey your
Okay.
last message.
Okay, ma'am. Sure.
I want to ask you a question. How did you feel? Could I answer your questions? Was I able to answer your
Yes, ma'am.
questions?
Yes, ma'am, definitely. Like most of the questions that I had in my mind are answered, and I still do have many questions because, as you have said, that mental health is a very huge topic to speak about, and I ideally want to do another session in which we cover depression basically. Because, and I guess after doing that session, I'll progress more. Even everyone, the entire community, we do this will progress more on understanding what mental health is, and more of my questions will be solved. And so I definitely look forward for a session. So, ma'am, there are no more questions.
Wonderful.
So, yeah. So, ma'am, everyone, thank you so
Okay.
much for joining. It was a very wonderful session. This was my first session, and I really enjoyed it. Like for my behalf, it went really good, and I have enjoyed a lot. I have understand a lot of things, and I hope even you all have enjoyed it equally and have understood equally. So, with that, I would like to conclude the session. Thank you so much, and I wish to have more sessions on this in the near future, and I hope that I get the opportunity to meet you again and do another session. And till then, thank you so much for joining. Have a lovely evening. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Jai Hind.
Bye bye.
Take care. Thank you. Bye bye. Moumita, thank you
Bye
very much
bye.
for asking us Yes, thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye bye.
My pleasure,
Bye
dear.
Bye
bye
bye.
bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank yeah,
Thanks.
thank you. Bye bye.
Most welcome. Bye bye.